Have you ever played Dark Souls 3 and just felt like something was missing? As in, there is a surprisingly lacking amount of Twinks in the game? Well, me too. So this is why I'm making this tutorial on how you can become one. I'll get into the definition of what being a Twink on Dark Souls means, but first I gotta tell you how to do it. You're gonna go through the game normally until you get to level 25 and you unlock the Watchdogs of Farron Covenant. Then you can progress the rest of the game, but don't level up. In Dark Souls, the term twinking is defined by getting late game items such as rings and weapons and only upgrading them to a certain level so you can be matched up with lower level players, usually on their first playthrough. The reason why this is so looked down upon by the community is because most new players have no idea what the twin paired Fire Knight greatswords do, right? As an example. So they just immediately get destroyed, and it's not fun for the person being invaded, but for the invader, I mean, come on, why do you think I'm making the video if it's not fun to do? At the end, my build looked like this. I had the Ring of Favor at +3, the Karthus Milk Ring, the Prisoner's Chain, and the Scholar's Ring. I actually put most of my levels into Vigor since as the Assassin class, you already start out with 14 dex, and with the Karthus Milk Ring, you get another 3. But the most important part of being a Twink on Dark Souls 3 is having a high-level Estus Flask, which means 15 plus 10. Because when you invade someone, you actually only get half of that. You get 7 Estus Flasks. And if you have any less, then it's only going to take half. So if you have 10, you're going to get 5, like you can see in my video here. To be honest, the reason why my Estus Flask is not at max was because I just didn't feel like grinding for it. But you really don't need to have it at max just to get good results, because even at +6 with only 5, you get more than half your health bar per sip, which is way more than enough for these low-level players. Because like I said earlier, you're at SL25. You're not going to be losing half your bar of health in one hit. These guys will, because when I have Great Magic Weapon and I have my hand axe, I can R1 spam them with my lag. I can actually take most of their health bar in a couple swings. This guy actually ran away from me for a solid 5 minutes, and you can see that anytime that I do any sort of damage to him, he just starts rolling, running away, and eventually we got to the very beginning of the Crucifixion Woods, where you first enter it, and I tried to block his path several times, and every time that I did, he would just run away, heal. I think he actually ran out of Estus at one point, which is why he just kept trying to run no matter what I did to him. So right here you can see that I'll get one hit in, and then he just starts running. I bow down, see if he's still there. He wants to have an actual duel. You know, I'm willing to drink all my Estus flasks in front of him to prove that I'm not gonna twink him out or something, but you can see that right here, the next time that I block his path, he goes back to the staircase, and then he gets his nimble fingers ready so he can close the app as quick as possible. Honestly, I don't blame him. If it was my first playthrough and I was getting destroyed by a guy that had most of his health back with just a single flask, I would probably quit out too. This next clip was actually my first invasion of the entire playthrough, and you can tell by the fact that my Estus Flask is only at +2 instead of +6 or +10, you know, really high level, and my hand axe doesn't have an infusion on it. So once I found this guy, I realized, oh my god, this guy's an actual brand new player. You can tell by the fact that he has just the regular knight armor, the regular knight weapons, and he's trying to explore the area, and then I hit him from behind, he doesn't realize, like, oh my god, what's that? Right, so then he starts trying to attack me, but by the time he realizes I'm already way too far for him to hit me. So I just R1 spam him with my lag, because I live in the mountains. I get 800 to 1000 ping constantly. There's nothing I can do about it. I know, I'm a bad person, yeah, whatever. Right, but there's literally nothing I can do. Anyways, I keep fighting him. All my hits get delayed, so at some point, I just break his stance, and I get a crit. And since I don't have any of my rings, this is my first invasion, I barely do anything. I do like 150 damage, but it doesn't matter, because more R1 spams, and boom, he's done. Ruined this new player's day. Would this really be a Dark Souls PvP video if I wasn't toxic after killing him? This right here was one of my last invasions before I maxed out the Covenant. You can see that I actually spawned in with a teammate, but he didn't really help. I think the crabs did most of the work in this invasion. That's why he's already at half health. You can see I throw an Undead Hunter Charm so he can't heal. My teammate comes in and attacks me for some reason. I attack the host again. He tries to run. Then Mr. Krabs comes up behind him, and then he's gone. This was probably the best clip I got from all my invasions. At the end, I got all 30 Wolfblood Swordgrass, and I maxed out the Covenant, and I got Artorias' Great Shield and the Wolf Ring. Well, thanks for watching all the way through. I actually really enjoyed making this. This is my first YouTube video ever. I've always wanted to make YouTube videos. Not as a YouTuber, but just for fun. Here's a couple pictures of me begging for the rings on Discord. I found that really funny. I didn't know where to include it in the rest of the video, but I guess the end's the best part. Better late than never. Feel free to make fun of me all you want. I deserve it.